There we go. I'm not sure what happened. I think it's the switching of the host caused it to like not record again. Okay, now we are officially recording this tonight.
I feel like this happened the last time to Ed as well.
I don't know.
It's just going to be there in the ether somewhere. Do you have another poem for us tonight? Would you like to read something else?
Oh, sure. I got a spicy piece.
Hey, all right, we'll record that one, babe.
Thank
Let's
you, thank
go.
you, thank you. Woo! I love when you call me babe. Let's all rave. Woo! Let's spread a little light to this cascade. Okay. This gonna be sorry. This poem's gonna have mom and dad layering in so many different stages. So please, not a word for these pages. I just want to burst some cages. Okay, this is called Galactic Ecstasy. Perfection is here. Yummy and scrumptious you. Baby, there's nothing to fear. I want to taste your sweet honeydew. I know you feel a connection. You're glowing more than a star. You want that deep stellar satisfaction. Don't worry, you receive a big orgasmic shooting star. I want to explore your deep space. Let me enter your vast pink Milky Way. Let me see the pale moons on your face. It's okay if you don't know what to say. Let's explore each other's fantasies. Do you feel that, baby? Do you feel me? Look so sexy and tasty. No, honey, don't be too quick or hasty. I don't make you mine. I want to taste your stardust wine. I want our universes to align. I'm ready to conquer this forum behind. I'm going to continue to conquer this planet. Oh my God, here comes the enormous earthquake. The pink wiggling alien has landed. Let me concentrate while your pleasure aches and elevates. Honey, can you charge up my lifesaver? That's right, put it deep in your moist crater. This is a warm and pleasurable celestial equator. You're such a fluent translator. My lifesaver is fully charged. Time to conquer your soft land. It's time for our cosmic discharge. The gravity is too great. I need both hands. Look at those craters and marks. No, I love the imperfections. They're your mystical arts. Enough talk. Let's perform a sensational abstraction. My thick probe is touching your scorching core. We're in one this tranquil twilight. You're moan and groan more. I'm going infinity beyond to reach your G heights. Your mountains start to erupt. I need to extract some samples slowly. We're mesmerizing, humping while our bodies bumping. We're turbulence up ahead. I need to move in closely. This sexy magnetic force is pulling about in. It's going faster, faster, and faster. Our minds and bodies have transcend. I need to prepare my blaster. Your core is breaking. Time for the climactic Big Bang. The planets are shaking from our deep awakening. The pink cosmos has rang. Your planet shivers and your black hole drips. You land on the ground. I can see the light spread across your lips. I just conquered something so sexy and round. Sweetie, my space adventure is over. It's time to jump off into deep space. Come on, move in closer. Let's bask in the grace from a heavenly embrace. Thank you.
Damn. Thank you for sharing that piece. Oh, Lordy, it just got very, very hot in here. It's always such a pleasure having you share your pieces with us. Thank you so much. I'm glad we got to record one of them at least. And I hope that you will join us next month as well. If we have time this evening and we are able to do another round, I hope that you will also share another piece. Okay, let's get back to the room and see who is here. I do see someone named Reggie. Reggie, do you mind um, unmuting and saying hello?
Yes, hello, hello, hello.
Hi there, how are you?
I am doing well. How are you doing?
Excellent, thank you so much. Are you here to support our featured poet, Onyx
Yes, I
H20?
yes, I am. I'm here to support Onyx. Yes, I am.
Awesome. Thank you. Well, you are very welcome here. If you decide that you want to read later, remember on this particular open mic, if you want to read an original piece, if you want to read prose, or even if you want to read the piece of someone special to you, you can do that. We prefer women poets, of course. But either way, you can do that. You are welcome to do so. But thank you for being here. We appreciate your presence tonight.
Thank you.
Awesome. All right, let's get back to the open mic list. Next, we have Bernadette Hernandez. Bernie, are you ready?
I am ready.
Hey, so good to hear
Now,
you.
I'm gonna be a little emo today, so both pieces are a little emo, so
All right. So thank you for joining us again. You are becoming a regular on our events. And I love
I
that.
enjoy these. I really do.
Awesome. All right. So you can begin.
Alrighty, the first one is called Signs Aren't Enough Anymore. This one is very recent. I did this in the last couple of days. Okay, signs aren't enough anymore. To say you haunt me would be an understatement. When the rare moments where your face or your name being mentioned, or the music you played, the music you dedicated to me, plays on some random supermarket playlist, the scent of tobacco, a tall Guinness, or a small blue ribbon. The white Jeep that stalks me on every street corner, none of them having a cracked passenger side glass corner. Engagement rings and green eyes, Kangol hats, and mutton chop sideburns. The way you can even make a missing tooth sexy. Your energy, that delicious, warm, safe, masculine energy. You could read the phone book to me and I'd fold. Adidas shoes and camel green bomber jackets, airports and rolling luggage. All of these things haunt me because you're not here. You're not here. The signs of you chase me down, yet the physical vessel eludes me. It's even more painful when I see someone that looks exactly like you, but it's not you. That's no consolation prize. I want you, not a doppelganger, not the next best thing, not the only one available, definitely not what's been around, since you're not. I don't want to invest my heart, my body, my mind, and most of all, my spirit into someone I'm not into. I don't want a placeholder. I want the only one who resides in my heart, the one who lives rent free in my head. Where are you? At least if you were in prison, there'd be a release date. Hell, I've been waiting this long. I can wait however long it takes. Spiritual diviners have all confirmed what I suspect, what my intuition tells me. How would they know? They don't know me. They don't know you either. They never met you, I'm sure. The energy is so palpable. Anyone in tune can tell. Something happened. Something foul, something suspect. One fateful phone call from a then unknown accomplice to our separation. Your disappearance from my life proceeded with a request to wait for you. I have waited 16 years. In Brujeria, it's customary, it's tradition to teach the teenage daughter the ways of the witch. You could have had a daughter in that time. The baby I bled into the toilet, punishment for trying at some semblance of life and parenthood with another, one who was invested more than I was. Maybe I killed her, that little one. Welcome, but also unwelcome. A link to that man, severed permanently. The baby we were supposed to have. Maybe that's why she left. So I leave two ghosts in my wake. Signs just aren't enough anymore, unfortunately. End poem.
Hi, Bernie. I was just trying to quote a line. And wow. Everyone, let's give some flowers to Bernadette. If you would like to just show yourself on screen, give a couple snaps. If you want to unmute yourself,
Woo!
please feel free to do that. That was deep, Bernie. Wow. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for sharing something that I know like makes you really vulnerable. I know personally. So thank you for sharing that in this space and trusting us here. Question, do you have a second poem you'd like to share or do you want to wait?
I think I'll wait.
Okay, sounds good. All right, so let's move on. Thank you, Bernie, again. Looking forward to hearing another piece from you this evening. Let's talk with someone in the room. I think I'm going to call on Marquita. Marquita, are you available to chat very quickly and say hello? And I know sometimes people may be doing other things. I know I have a couple of friends who are at work right now listening in and may not be able to speak. So if that's the case, it's okay. But I see you unmuted. How are you doing, Marquita?
Hi, how's everybody doing? I'm Onyx's friend. I'm enjoying the poems being shared.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you being here. We appreciate you supporting Onyx. And you're welcome to come back anytime. We do this every month. We also have another event called Woman's Heart. That is just for women and those who identify as such, and it's not recorded. So if anyone feels a little bit safer reading in that particular community, we can do that as well. You are so welcome there. And thank you for being here tonight. All right, let's get on. We have Phil. Are you actually going to read for us, Phil?
Yes, he is.
That was already answered for you, boo. Okay, you are muted, so I'm going to take that as a yes.
But
I don't know if
honestly,
Lisa put you on that list without your permission, without your consent, but it's happening.
honestly, make a suggestion, so I can't do anything. How you doing, Stacy? Who we got there? Natasha. Marsha's in here. Onyx likes this piece, so I'm gonna do this piece at least.
Yes.
For some reason, it's a favorite piece by me. I want to thank you all for coming, because the only thing that a poem wants is to be heard. But I dare you to listen. Pay more than the usual attention, become the intervention that can help teach our adolescents. You see, some of our teenagers have gone astray. Internally, they feel a certain way. Confusion meets depression. I heard it's been said that absent fathers still teach vital lessons. And bullying gives you the personal view that you're less desirable, a powerless individual. Teens succumb to sex, drugs, and drinking, giving way to suicidal thinking. And that's just the beginning. Rap lyrics are winning. Clipping and I ain't gotta get mine, replacing real dreams with the dreams of selling drugs. Being put in street life at 13, not sure if you live to see the age of 14. And parents, some parents aren't even parenting because they too are still children. So I dare you to listen. To the boys that buy pants that don't fit so that they can fit in. To the children that have the delusion that it's cute to wear high heels, tight jeans, and makeup. Little girls that envy adult women, underestimating the power of flirtation. In the meantime, you have grown men that want to fulfill these desires. When these desires become fertile, it gives birth to sin. But we can still teach our children, even when they're not listening, hoping one day they will remember, instill in them self-esteem, morality, and life's realities. Teach them spirituality that can be passed on from generation to generation after generation. Again, I want to thank you all for coming, because the only thing that a poem wants is to be heard. But I dare you, I dare you, I dare you to listen.
Ooh, okay, everyone, let's unmute. Oh my goodness.
Woo!
Oh, and give Phil the
Yes.
love he deserves for that piece. I can see
Awesome.
why it's
Wow.
one of his favorite. I can definitely see that. Thank you so much. Phil, there are some people that are here that are familiar with your open mic and some who are kind of new to poetry altogether. Please tell us about your open mic that you have twice a month.
Put it in the chat. Chance Acevedo, I don't know why, but Chance Acevedo and I, we host this online open mic the second and fourth Wednesday of each month on Zoom at 9:15 Eastern Standard Time, because we're both from New York, so we got to give it love to New York side. It's fun. We have it in the format of a haiku, 5 on the open mic. The spotlight artist will share 3 poems, but we'll talk to them, and then 7 on the open mic, and they're able to do whatever they want. I mean, 7 on the open mic, and then the spotlight artist comes back uninterrupted, then 5 back on the open mic, 5, 7, 5. Because y'all know I like a haiku, a good haiku.
Also, do you mind telling us about the book that you have out?
My book, holy crap.
I might have a copy of it.
Do
I have it reachable? Let me see if I do.
Oh, yeah.
I do.
Oh, okay, my bad. Your turn. What's it all for? Covering over.
Wait, no, that's not
Covering
it.
over 40 years of. Oh,
I
it's not
just
even doing a
advertised
good
the wrong
commercial
book.
right now.
There we go. Go ahead, Phil. I'm a mess.
covering over 40 years of writing and performing. And the reason why it's called What's It All For, because first time my father saw me perform, after it was over, he said that was good, I enjoyed it, but what's it all for? So that was the title of my book.
Love it. Love it. Can you please put the information for both your open mic and the link to your book in the chat?
Yeah, I'll have to come in on the
Yeah.
on my thing again so I could
Okay.
do it.
No problem. And just post it there. Okay. And will you be reading another poem now, or do you want to just chill and wait for the next round?
It's up to y'all.
Let's see, who do we have? I know that Marsha contacted me, so she is walking around in public and she's going to let us know when she's ready. So we're going to just have to skip her temporarily. We have then Christy and Kazi. So you know what? Why don't we wait for the second round? Because I would like to get through this and listen, get everyone to have a chance reading, listen to our feature, and then anyone who wants to go again, I'm definitely encouraging that because these reads are excellent tonight. Thank you so much, Phil. Appreciate you. Thank you for coming.
Thank you back.
All
Let's
right.
go on. Let's do this.
All right. So since Marsha can't read just yet, let's move on to Christy, who was having trouble logging in before, and I'm so glad that she was able to make it.
Hello, can you hear me? Am I
We
here?
can, yes. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good, good. I'm so glad that you're here, and I'm so glad that you're reading tonight. I always love to hear from you.
You know it's a good mic when you realize the day of, you're like, oh yeah, that's tonight. I'm excited, you know?
Yay! I'm so glad to hear that. Thank you. All right,
Okay,
share
so
your
here we
magic
go.
with us, love. I'm so ready to hear you.
Okay, I'm gonna go off video, but these
Okay.
are two pieces I wrote in Maureen Medina's workshop on taboo subjects. The first one is not talking about it, the second one is talking about it. Okay. The place of everything and nothing and birth and death, of sadness, of pleasure that pulsates inside of my mind, my heart, my soul, the one with folds, with layers of dimensions, that dives into so many deep cavernous places, one with many faces and favorites and opinions. The one no one wants to mention sits here at the core of me, at the floor of me that wiggles around when uncomfortable, that battens down once a month, that clowns around with thoughts that linger on the tips of my toes and of my fingers and on my back and down my front and the pool of my hair. Is it okay for it to be there, down there, aware of everything, scared of the things that sting and bunch and batter the inside of my head, of my heart, of myself? She is inside of myself, the deep, deep, dark well of the gift that is me, that is her, that is us. This is the second piece. Vagina, vagina, vagina. Yes, I have a vagina. I have a labia, a vulva, labial folds, and it's all surrounded by hair. By hair down there. My vagina, my pussy, my clit, they do sit at the root of myself. And the way society has made me feel about her makes me scream and shout about her. My vagina, my vagina, my vagina is and does deserve my scream and shout and let it all out because she has been vilified. She has been bullseyed, hog-tied, outcried, denied for far too long. Oh, is she pink enough? Or is she small enough, or smooth enough, or wet enough, or open enough, or available enough? Well, she has had enough. And by she, I mean we. And fuck that patriarchal bullshit of a judgmental, gossipy, drab, false narrative that I have been given, that she has been given, when the reason anyone is living is because of her. Her kind, her portal, her power. I give her power back today. This moment, this second, they will not stop her. They will not stop me. My clit, my vagina, my pussy. She is free. She is free. She is free. Thank you.
Give it to Christy. She brought it tonight. Oh, what a perfect poem too for this month. Taking back that power. I love it so, so much. Fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing those two pieces. Appreciate you. Wow. I hope that for the second round, you'll be able to join us and read another piece. But right now we have Kazi Kaz, and he did mention that he might be kicked out, kind of booted off.
I would keep your video off. That would make it less likely to be booted.
Yeah, if you're having
Okay.
connectivity issues.
Okay.
But welcome.
Can you
Thank
hear
you
me?
for joining us. Yeah, we could hear you.
Hello, hello. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you, Nona, for letting me know about this. So, okay, so I could spit something for y'all. I have a piece here titled, well, I don't know. I'm sorry. Where did it just go? Okay. Forgive me. This one's titled The Poem That Never Was. Excuse me. I want an ABC, the DEs of your FGs, so I can HI the JKs of your elemental Ps. Then I'll Q the RSTs of the U's in your V's, while Wing the X's of the Y's in your Z's. Wording letters into sentences which run on paragraphs, which I might add, subtract the multiplied divisions of my fractions algebraically triggered geometry. Now you can calculate the geometry of my being sorry for forgiving you're a puppy. Realizing whom I've always been, told I never will be. You can never will reveal me. In my tree, I'm the positive skepticism of my family's nepotism defense mechanism, like plagiarism's eloquently elegant exorcism. I'm next to the symphonied similes of metaphorically orchestral soliloquies, which proficiently prohibit the indubitably iniquitous indignities of my perpetually prolific proclivities, emancipating my freedom's liberties from the ramifications of their consequential repercussions, which came with compunction, instructions, or introductions, just illusion, accusatory assumptions. Meanwhile, I'm manufacturing poems to distribute through my vocal cords for assumptions. I'm starving hunger, famine, I go again, cheesing the old style from here to the now, which so many are in. Accusing, blames, guilty culpability of being at fault for liability, sin. Bad decisions, skipping goats so as to buy admissions of mistaken errors and blatant terrors. I'm denying plausibilities their responsibility. Because if I lie to you, I'm telling the truth.
Just as he
Yeah.
mentioned. And at the end, it was getting really hard to hear him.
No.
Oh, there he goes. He's coming back.
All right. I'm watching
Ozzy,
the video.
Where did I get cut off at?
like maybe 2 lines ago, we were unable to hear probably like the last 10 lines or so clearly.
Okay, here. I'm next of kin to the symphony similes. I'm next of kin to the symphony similes of metaphorically orchestral soliloquy, proficiently prohibit the indubitably indignities of my perpetually prolific proclivities, emancipating my freedom's liberties from the ramifications of their consequential repercussions, which came with no compunction, instructions, or introductions, just delusional illusions and accusatory assumptions. Meanwhile, I'm manufacturing poems to distribute through my vocal cords for mass production's mass consumption. I'm starving hunger's famine by going ham, cheesing a Colgate smile from here to denial, which so many are in, accusing blames, guilty culpability of being at fault for liability, sin. Bad decisions, skipping goats so as to bypass admissions of mistaken errors and blatant terrors. I'm denying plausibility's irresponsibility. Because even if I lie to you, I'm telling the truth. So pick the selection that you decided to choose. I opt to let loose so I can rock a by the clock into a truce with no hands, luring the minutes, seconds into busy intersections of wrist, watching tick-tocking sands of time span standing still. Ages of epic errors fight to acquit my absolved exonerations, but still running up quite the bill, causing the planets to bounce off the moons of Saturn and grandmounted filter patterns, somewhat ripped, torn, and tattered. Ill. I sent the grievance to the spaz of the unsightly face of hysteria. It's truly repugnant, his twisted plan. One flagrant, swear to God, really pitiful, who literally's been dropping the ball. Because while Eve was eating Adam's apple, Eden was nowhere to be found. Meanwhile, Jill was on the hill jumping Jack and Jehoshaphat with the pail of water she fed from the stretched depths of hell's back and beyond.
Hi, poor Kazi. Ay.
All right, I think I'm gonna stop with this poem because it's just
I
like.
was, I mean, what we could hear of it was fire. So let's
Yes.
give some love.
Woo!
Thank you.
Thank you so
Maybe
much
in
Thank
for
you.
round
joining
two,
Thank you.
you'll
power
be able to
through
finish.
those tech
Right,
difficulties.
I'll try round two.
That was amazing.
Sorry.
No,
Thank
that's
you.
okay.
Thank
Please
you.
don't apologize. Like these things happen all of the time. So we get you. All right. So thank you so much for sharing. I do want to
Of course,
get
thank you.
our
Thank you.
feature at this point. So we are going to have a second round. If you would like to read in the second round, we're going to start with CP Mays. Hello, how are you? Thank you for joining us. You will probably be first, and if Marsha is able to read, she'll be next. And anyone else, please sign up now. Okay. All right. So now for our feature, let me give a little introduction to Onyx. All right. Onyx H20 is a Texas-based writer, editor, poet, spoken word artist, and entrepreneur from California with a background in business, education, and community relations. She began honing her skills of storytelling through poetry at age 11, has hosted open mics in Southern California, currently hosts prayer and poetry open mic on Instagram, and is a traveling poet preparing to release her first book of poetry. Welcome, Onyx, everyone. Woohoo! So,
I'm like
glad
clapping for
that
my
you're
book.
joining with us, our Tesoro sister. Yay!
Tesoro in the house. We are in the house of Tesoro. Let's say
That's
that.
it. And on that note, before we begin, just to mention, and Lee, if you don't mind posting it, contributions. Just want to remind you all again, if you are able to donate, to share a little of your love financially, 90% of any donations will go to our featured poet. It will go directly to Onyx, and the other 10% will keep the lights on, as Stacey likes to say, at Tesoro. I will say that Stacey does amazing things for all of us poets in terms of marketing, in terms of networking, getting us together, getting us the ability to publish, right? We had a book of our poems from our last invitational. I mean, there's so many opportunities that are available to us, but that costs money. So 90% is going to go to Onyx, 10% to Tesoro. We appreciate anything that you can give, and that information is in the chat. So now, how are you feeling, Onyx?
That's how I'm feeling.
Oh, please, I know it's going to be fire.
That sums it up.
Okay.
First of all, thank you. Thank you for even considering me. I am completely honored. I didn't even know that everyone was in here when you started calling names. I was like, so here we go. I'm trying not to be, a big marshmallow and get this reading done. But I'm super grateful. Marcia, Marquita, Angel, they all literally just found out about this a few hours ago. So, I'm just grateful for, my loyalty family in the building. So thank you all for being here. And Reggie, thank you all for being here. Everyone who came out specifically to support me, I'm incredibly grateful. Midnight has known about this. I don't know when Midnight found out. Last week, Midnight? But I thank all of y'all. I'm super grateful. I didn't tell anyone. Come on, Hat. I see you. All right. I am sunrise and sunset, afternoon soul and midnight moon washed over the shores of distant heartache. A dam, overcome by its own tears. Today I am healing emotion. With the grace of God's hand moving mountains across valleys, hieroglyphics and island breeze, the sway and grass skirts, butter of shade nets, excuse me, hieroglyphics and island breeze, the butter of shade nets, black resilience and cleansing flow. I am Onyx H20. I see your hair till midnight. I see you. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. My sun, Polaroid picture, my heart, my sunshine, he shines bright. always my North Star. In the darkest of nights, his love my anchor. His smile like the equator, half of me. He is everything in me and all I am not simultaneously. There is nothing that I could say that will ever be good enough to encompass all that he is. I used to call him my life raft. He be Noah's Ark. The life that I birthed carries life abundantly. His life carried me safely through the same flooding waters I once wanted to drown in. Reminded me that no matter how mangled my spirit was before him, the God has not forgotten me. To see his face is to seek God's face. It's the grace for me. Magnified a purpose in me, to God be the glory, even as the adversary comes for me. To he, she, or otherwise who tries to separate me from his shine. To God be the glory. I am not who I was, but I still will. Wage wars for him. Travel to the end of my salvation. You will find bloodshed in my prayers for him. I will always come for him. No distance too far, an enemy too close. You obviously don't know. A mother's love resides on, I wish a motherfucker would lane. Keep playing games, hide and seek. You shall find his mother's love. While unapologetically shake, bend, flip, twist, worlds topsy-turvy. You will feel the mass destruction in my prayers, my God. You will find your knees playing with me. My God don't play about me. As I don't play about him, my shine. I call him many names. He gave me the best name far above a title, baby boy. No soul could ever sever this tie that binds us into eternity. In every attempt, they will find hell, I assure you. Mommy will always come for you. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine.
Ooh, we can give love during this feature as well, so feel free. Oh, beautiful.
Born half, unfamiliar star line, and roots steep in rich soils, daddy. With a daddy unsure of his place with his son, so his absence ran through my daddy's veins and infected his blood. Mommy, eldest of five, abandoned after birth, her mother exercised her right to leave, paved way for my mother to leave emotionally. What a legacy they both had left to lead me. Born of daddy, black, Afro, black, resilient, black. I'm black and I'm proud, black, but heart-hardened, black. Born of mother, a far lighter shade of brown, another variety of colonized tongue. She carried the scent of aloha in her hair, walked barefoot in the hearts of men with no intention of loving her. I find myself in them both. Parents with no college degree, both having PhDs in vacancy. Me, 2 college degrees. This education has yet to filter the degrees of their residual trauma and transform them into triumph. What a legacy I have hidden away. Decades of suppressed breath and racing heart in an effort to elude the stains my bloodline spilled before me. My mother's trauma, an instruction manual I vowed to never read, didn't really need to. She taught me to wear rose-colored glasses while staring at red flags. Just as easily as she showed me how making bunny ears helped me tie my shoes, red flags became much like a welcome mat. My mother treated much like welcome mat. No welcome, just mat with the spirit of aloha minus mahalo. Maybe you're just like my mother. She's never satisfied. Daddy's PTSD taught me how to close and lock doors, so I have a hard time opening them. Papa was a rolling stone, Wherever he laid his hat was his home, except Daddy never laid his hat anywhere. And my mom still watches red flags through those same glasses. They both taught me that love is spelled Pain. No wonder I developed a high tolerance for self-sabotage. It said, it takes 21 days to create a habit, yet I've spent 21 years stroking the blades of these same swords, collecting them over the years, different shapes and sharpnesses, all carefully placed on my trophy case. My mouth, when provoked, can become a chamber of blades. My aim is your neck. I'll watch you bleed out. I gave my disclaimers. I cautioned you, was never taught how to unlearn. But as I learn, I pray my body can withstand the demolition of unpacking the scriptures, turn horror films. Dysfunction was a courtyard. I champion young, heavy weights. I bear heavy weights. This delicately crafted barbed wire has left many with scars that spell my name backwards. And if you look close enough, you'll catch a glimpse of my colorful canvas there. I ask of you to walk away from me or have patience with me while I go this journey alone, learning how to redefine this heart and use these tools as they were intended. What a sad day to learn we became strangers lying in the same bed, found our desires for each other had lost their flare, a flame that no longer lights the candles at dinner. How we became salt among all the other seasonings, watching seasons change along horizons of wondrous mornings, now full of silent mourning. Sweet nothings became simply hollow, void, no longer home kind of day. Rooms that hold cold instead of memory. Sheets that couldn't fold a smile into any crease. Electronics, once connected, only play white noise. And if white noise were a person, it would look like me, like you. Loud frowns and quiet scorn, preferring the sound of static over voice. In a frosty, abandoned room, of vacant smiles and broken promises, a kitchen sink, sinking hearts and minds, trash cans stank, loaded with heavy burdens, a garage full of stored trauma. Behind every smile was hidden agenda, written in stone, all the way down the driveway. Freedom Road ahead. What a momentous goodbye. A house no longer home. Lately, been wondering why God still has me here. What work I have not yet finished. Have I not been used enough questions? I know I'm not alone in asking, even though it feels that much here, alone, asking why he gave me this heart, a beat that falls silent on those I have loved most. What has become of this discarded noise? I told him that I am unworthy of his task, appreciative of his grace, but is this a punishment for sins forgotten? For each doctor to say, no cancer was found, but the chances are high. How high are my chances of escaping death yet again? Could this be the answer to all my screams in the dark? This pain grabbed hold of my neck, and I, for a moment, enjoyed the suffocation, enjoyed the idea of being without turmoil, to no longer be a problem, a burden, begging for relief. Am I allowed to say out loud, I wanted it to take my breath? Am I allowed to say out loud, I told it to swallow me whole so that I could be right with God? excuse me, so that I could be right with God. What a coward I've become, no longer handling my own dirty work, for I have become it, a dirty work. And maybe this honesty is too much. Maybe they'll now have a reason to claim me unfit to parent. Maybe now I can be a coward in peace. What good am I to my son in these pieces? Will this truth teach him to be a coward too? I'd rather die a coward than to pass on this curse, than for him to be like me, a coward, consumed in this lifetime of abandonment and this rejection tightens its hold each time I grow to hate myself more with each new encounter. What a realization. I've become the very things I've despised, questioning God's good work while staring through the eyes of the adversary's lies, still begging for relief and a peace beyond all understanding that I can't seem to keep.
Ooh, Onyx. Yeah, yeah. I know hosts are not supposed to cry. I'm trying not to get emotional, but that was wow. I don't think I've heard that
Sorry.
piece from you. That was insane. I mean, so good, so raw. Thank you so much. I mean, the words, the delivery, everything about that piece. I'm like trying to sit with it right now. Oof. This is the time
I
when you
have
wish you were
I have more.
spectating.
I'm not gonna leave it. I'm not gonna leave us in the heavy.
Okay. Oh, thank
I'm not gonna leave us in the
not
heavy.
feeling
I'm
some
sorry.
kind of way. Oh, ooh, Lord.
Merriam-Webster says a pendulum is a body suspended from a fixed point so as to swing freely to and fro under the action of gravity, and commonly used to regulate movements as of clockwork. My body been pendulum, suspended with you fixed point, watch me swing freely to and fro, sent me from smiles of anticipation into places void of light and air, drowning in a love marked undeliverable. You watched intently. The misery saw when gravity took hold of me better than you ever could, with no grace in your grasp left to handle me. The beginning of dissension as close is the distance measured by the cavity your words left proximity between green sheets and green crests is an exhale at best. How sweetly we slept. Nonetheless, you left your heart unaccounted for in a mirage of echoes in a garden of mountainous rocks molded by God as beauty. Holds the foretellings of old, once told sound barriers broken my body. An accumulation of high-pitched screeching, a rocking of worlds colliding. These echoes boom like sonic rings left to swing to and fro. This body been pendulum, no longer suspended from a fixed point to gravity, now regulating movements captured by a splatter of echoes free, falling silent among red rocks, a reaching for you, where your absence is the only thing to map your existence. This body been pendulum, unfixed at points, fallen, now found at the feet of God. Last one. God's love is to leave another in peace, not pieces. There's something about the way I learned comfort in chaos, snuggled up close with dysfunction, how I gave the monsters under my bed an opportunity to sleep next to me. The same way those skeletons in the closet became good company, can I tell you about the grip of codependency? Trying to heal hearts I didn't break in the midst of them shattering me beyond jagged fragments and confusion, though wounded. I'm unlearning intently intentionally rejecting you, loving me with your shards, refuse to further contort my body, my smile, or dim my light to the lack of your healing. You would not disturb me. You would not disturb the very peace in me. I pray we can walk together peaceably, but if it means that we end this here peacefully, go in peace. You see, when God saved me from me, he gave me a son to remind me that his came that I might have life more abundantly. His peace so right, he left it to give me rest. So I sit at his feet, even when pieces of me find it hard to be still. Still I flow. The H20 in me be cleansing and a reckoning. Stay aiming for steady, though isolation been loud. I'm not too proud to say, sometimes this stillness gets shaky. This transformation not so easy, but it's worth it. I'm learning to be more peacemaker than warrior, at times requiring me to be silent, stand down while holding my ground. I'm finding repentance and comfort and not telling my side of the story. My God will vindicate wrongful judgments, deceitful tongues that rise against me. Stillness, oftentimes assumed as quiet, can move mountains with spoken words and mustard seed faith. This stillness can be deafening to all else when God speaks with every piece of me. I've been practicing stillness in the presence of God, hands up, without the fear of racist bullets piercing my flesh, hands raised in praise, you see, for his glory. As his peace be still in me, I'm kept perfectly from what tries to imprison me. To God be the glory.
Please, let's give it up for our featured poet this evening, the beautiful, the talented Onyx H2O. Please
Woo!
mute. Give this woman the
Woo!
flowers that she deserves.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
Onyx.
Woo!
My goodness. Wow. Thank you so, so much for that emotional, just gorgeous, gorgeous set. I do have some questions for you. I started adjusting my questions as you were performing today. If there's anything that's too personal, just let me know. I try not to. I try to do very general questions, but you can always skip. Feel free to do that. We'll start because I was just looking at your bio and it says that you started writing at 11 years old. I have an 11-year-old. So I want to know, how did you begin writing so young? What got you into writing?
It was heartbreak. It was
Mm,
heartbreak, really. Um, it wasn't. I felt as though the familial heartbreak that I experienced was so normalized at that point that that wasn't what pushed me into writing. It was more so the heartbreak of having the crushes and you know the beginning of relationships and things like that. And so that's what pushed me in there. But in hindsight, it was preparation through the familiar heartbreak. So
mm,
yes, ma'am,
all
that
right.
was what pushed me on in there.
So that was your beginnings. Tell me now, what keeps you writing?
Oh gosh. Well, um, I actually before Onyx H2O, I was running from poetry. I had no intention of coming back to poetry or doing anything really much with poetry. And then God gave me a poem. And I was just like, okay. I read it over and I cried and I cried and I cried. I'm like, I didn't write this. I clearly was the one typing it. It's
Mm,
my story, but I didn't write it.
mm,
And God told me to record it and post it. And I was terrified, first of all, because I'm just like, I'm not, this right here just makes me nervous. I'm probably sweating, and y'all don't need to see all that. The nerves and all of the, this is not my favorite thing. And so that I was terrified. I was horrified. I'm like, me? Why me, God? Well, I don't like this stuff.
mm,
Um, and then they kept coming. And a lot of it was the heartbreak. It was the things that I experienced. And when I was about 18, 18 is the youngest that I can remember, is when someone had told me that I needed to write a book because I had gone through so many different things. And I was like, who would want to read that? Right. And she was like, there are people that need to hear your story. There are people that need to hear how you overcame and things like that. And I didn't see the value in it. But other people over the years have seen the value in it. And when God gave me that poem, I understood what the mission was. And it's not about me. It's a part of my journey, but it's not about me. So that's what keeps me here, because there's been so many times that I've wanted to run from this and not do this, right? So when you ask me, I'm like, it's always an honor. But at the same time, I have Marsha and Marquita and Angel and Reggie, and they all just found out today, right? So I'm incredibly grateful for every opportunity that God has given me to speak my truth, because I know that my truth isn't just mine. And it's not just for me to know that we can move past the things that we've been through. Those aren't our destinations. It's just God is navigating us through those, and we have somewhere else to go. It's a strengthening, it's a refining, it's a building, for us to keep going into what He is calling us to. So that's why I'm here, and that's why I'm still writing and still doing this. And I do have a book and all of those songs.
Well, I'm going to ask you about that in just a second. So, your poetry is one of the things that makes me love your poetry so much, is that it is vulnerable, it's raw, it's real. Are there any topics or subjects that you just will not write about, that you avoid writing about, or that it just makes you very comfortable?
There are topics. There are topics that I do avoid, and I tap danced over a couple of them in my sunshine poem about my son. But yeah, there are some where I'm just like, I don't think that I'm ready yet to talk about that, because there's still some working out that needs to come out. There's still some working through and some working out that needs to come out. Maybe it'll come out in the poetry, and I'm just not ready to face that yet. In full transparency. But yes, ma'am.
So, mentioning your son, you mention your son in several pieces. How, and as a mom, I have to ask you, how has being a mom shaped how you write, or how does it influence your writing, if at all?
That's a great question. I've never really thought about that. Because I am so raw, and he knows me as raw. That's all he knows. That's all he knows as a parent, right? Like, and so far as to say, like, he didn't grow up with Santa Claus and Easter bunnies and stuff like that. I'm like, no, it's not real. We're not doing that. And he used to go to school, Santa Claus not real. And I'm like, well, baby, some people believe that. We're gonna let them believe that. But I in my mindset, and maybe this is to the extreme, this is just my thought process. You're not gonna grow up and say, well, mommy, why did you lie to me? I told you the truth all of your life. You know what I'm saying? However raw it may be, however hurtful or painful, I'm gonna give it to you straight, because who else is gonna do that? Right? I'd rather be the first one to tell you the truth than somebody else out there to break your heart over something that I could have prevented, type of deal. Like raising you up in knowledge and wisdom, and not to believe in things that just fairy tales just because you want something good to believe in. There's plenty of good to believe in. You just have to be able to see it, right? So real things that are good that you can believe in. So yes, ma'am.
And our last question for the evening. And first, before I say that, I just want to say I've been a fangirl since the first time I heard you and put it in the chat. So glad that we're Tesoro sisters. You've always been so supportive of your sisters. You've come to all of my functions. I appreciate you so much, both as a poet, as a Christian, and as a human being. I really do appreciate you.
Thank you.
So our last question is actually, it's a request to tell us about your online open mic, and that's why I mentioned Christian, and any other projects that you have. So books, your store, anything else that you're doing, in addition to telling us about it, if you could please put it in the chat afterwards so people can link up with you.
Definitely. So I have put I was about to say put in that chat. Jesus. I have prayer and poetry. I just
Bill.
hijacked a whole open mic. I have prayer and poetry open mic, which is on Instagram. It's currently a pop-up only open mic because there are a lot of things that are shifting for me right now. And my schedule is all over the place. So it's when I am able to do it. So prayer and poetry, and it's prayer, the letter N, poetry on Instagram. And it used to be on Saturday morning. So right now it's pop-up only. I may here and there, when I know that I have open time, give a time for it on the page and whatnot. But currently, that's what that is. And so, prayer and poetry is a platform. It's a Christ-centered platform where we share prayers, poems, testimonies, scriptures, anything that glorifies God, anything that you want to share that is glorifying God. That is the space that we have for that. We do community events, promote community events that are not sponsored by prayer and poetry, but we promote them. I am aware, I know I frequent those, so I know who's running them. I know the premise of everything. I know those things. So we do promote on that page as well. And I look forward to in the future adding other events like devotionals and things like that. But all of that is coming. But right now it's a pop-up only open mic. And September of last year, I became an official author, and I kind of kept it quiet, as I do with everything else.
Yeah, so I'm about to say.
I just say, hey. So this is a Bible study notebook. It's called Closer to God, and it has questions that I've never seen. I did not come up with these questions. These are questions that God gave me. There's a whole nother book where God gave me a whole layout for it and the questions. And it's basically, it leads you to understand and better get to know the character of God. So it's this one, and this is the only one that I currently have on my website, but I will be adding these two. It's the same book, just different versions of the cover, for it to be more inclusive. More inclusive. So that, and then I have another one that's a more extended version for those who really want to dig in to the word. But there are a lot of questions, and I know Marquita has it, and so she wanted to put something in the chat regarding that. But it's been a great tool for me personally in studying the Word of God, because a lot of people, they get in there and they're like, I don't know what to do, I don't know where to start, and so this is just a helpful one. I have my website, onyxh20.com, where there is a very brief version of this for free. It's a free resource on my website, and you can go to that and just download it. It's for immediate download. I also have Onyx H20 apparel, where this will be one of them. It's not currently on my website, but there are multiple. I don't even have anything near me either. Oh no, just kidding, I do. Let me not knock over this whole thing. I don't want to knock over this setup, because next thing you know, the floor's going to be on the floor and I'm going to be disconnected. But I have a whole apparel line with different scripture, like Luke 6:45, from the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. Prayer is a love language is a shirt that I have. I can't believe I don't have any of that. Shame on me. Prayer is a love language. Consistency is a love language. And Onyx H20 apparel was born out of me being consistent with God for myself. It was things that I was saying to myself that was holding me accountable. It started with me, right? Consistency as a love language was my first shirt. And it was me being consistent in all things, me being consistent in reading the Word of God, me being consistent with prayer and all of those things, and staying in that space and watching my mouth and, watching my thoughts and, all of these different things. So it started with me, and then I sent it out to my friends, and I was like, hey, I made 2 different versions of the shirt. And I said, hey, which one do y'all like? What color scheme do you like? And my friends were like, oh, I want this in medium. I want this. Where'd I send the money? And I'm just like, okay, I'll take that as feedback. I guess that'll be the feedback. So that's Onyx H20 apparel. What else do I have going on? My book. My book of poetry. This book was supposed to be out 2 years ago.
Will you link everything in the chat for us? Will you please remember to do that?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I definitely want some merch, and I definitely want the book. Both books.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, yeah, people are asking you right now to please link it.
Oh, thank you, Midnight.
Onyx.
That's the Prayers of Love Language shirt. That's one of them. They're different colors, but he has that one.
There we go. Phil to the rescue. Thank you, Midnight.
Thank you, Midnight.
Thank you. From all of us to you, thank you so very much. I mean, what a gorgeous set. Thank you for your beautiful energy. We appreciate you. Everyone, if you just want to give one more round of kudos to
Woo!
amazing, amazing, amazing. Thank you so
Woo!
much.
Good job.
Yeah, yeah. Beautiful, beautiful.
Great job.
Okay.
Great job.
Amazing. So we do have some people down. Oh, excellent. I'm going to close the sign up now for the second round because I want to make sure that we are done in time. I know that there is another open mic that some people would like to go to right away. So we have CP Mays, Marsha, Kazi Kaz, Yael, Bernadette, Frog, and Jasmine, which is really exciting. This is going to be a great round. So if you don't mind, let's start with CP Mays. Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. How are you?
I'm good. Glad to be here. Shout outs to the poets that came before and the feature, Fire and Roses, right? Here's a triptych. Semper Fidelis. Marines equals Semper Fidelis equals Latin equals always faithful equals 30 rounds of faithfulness equals fresh out of give a fucks in magazines, no subscriptions or addresses outside of downrange needed. Jesus Christ charge carding us heaven with taxes and fees excluded. Beware of boogeymen keeping timeshares in lions' dens. Beware scalping tickets to cross the river Styx leaves the boatsman pissed. Be aware you'll either be damned to death or be damn good at dying. Beware shells burn like STDs as your M16 switches 3-round burst into semi. The few proud, brave Marines left me to murder trial, please. At 500 yards, naked eyed, no scope, no hope, dies. Please, Father, Son, Holy Ghost collection plates are just bar tabs. Please, Jim Beam, Jack Daniels, Jose Cuervo, please, bartender, please, can't apply prayer scriptures, band-aids on shotgun wounds, please. Damn, if we didn't step on the toes when dancing with the devil equals Semper Fi, equals left pleased. My family tree stumps. Granite planet gravel gospel rooted in gunshot ghettos, brain stems, no seeds. Dilapidated was the day of the month I was born in. My family raised cocaine and able for profits. The second coming of God's coming in second waves of a 7-day high on the 1st and 15th of every month. I can still smell the stench of a 38 snub nose revolver in my urine. When my mother's water broke, it smelled of slumlord gutters and past due rent. Busted veins, broken leases, and pawn shop tickets, murders brought my family together more than any Easter Sunday ever could. And my heartbeats are knocking on the door of a bomb scare, and I should be scared that I'm not. I should be scared that the truth and facts sometimes get sleepy and feels the need to lie down for rest. I should be scared that in 2004, my grandfather died not knowing how to read or write. My family tree is as ugly as a misunderstanding an egotistical God won't quite admit to. And our caskets are fashioned out of petrified, shoulda, coulda, woulda, would. Our branches are off from trunks. Our pulse pumps produce passion out of skin like tattooed weak skeleton bones. Skeleton bones fracture funny bones. But death's never been a beautiful joke jotted down in my family tree's fine print. Using Revelations, y'all, as an updated resume. Lucifer became a highly trained lumberjack, using Christ as a chainsaw to keep cutting my ugly family tree short. Thank y'all.
Let's hear it for this artist, CP Mays. Thank you so much. That was fire delivery. Whew.
Appreciate you.
goodness.
Thank you for
Word,
having me.
always, always,
Oh,
always, man, always.
tell us
Woo!
how to find you.
Oh, CP Mays. That's my Insta handle or Facebook. I host the global open mic second and fourth Sundays, but I'll drop all that in the chat. Like, I'm dying to hear everybody else. I'm so excited to be here.
Awesome. Thank you. And I don't know if we've ever met online, but thank you so much. It's good to meet you.
Likewise.
I hope that you'll come back next month.
Plan.
Awesome. Okay, next we have Marsha. Marsha, let's see, is she here? Are you able to read, Marsha?
Peace and blessings.
I know that voice. How you doing, girl?
How you doing, Nicole? Onyx, you dropped the mic. Thank you to all the poets that have read. Thank you to all the poets that are here. I'm here in support of Onyx. Thank you, Nicole, for the platform. It's a pleasure. I'm just gonna get into it. Unfortunately, forgive me. My camera's giving me some problems. So, but here we go. Father, have you created me, carried me, even through the first trials when I couldn't see past the illusion of the world, the shiny things, the place, the twinkle in my eye, the mind to do as the will. Freedom seemed endless and days is a phase, numbing the pain, the first shun from the traumatization of what was to come. Didn't know the door I opened in the midst, exploring intoxication with these worldly things. I believed I was walking the path my soul needed to survive another day. The flesh condemned to the devil's buell, a list required slowly, surely to follow through. Necessary to condemn self-imprisonment, trapped in the loop, ran with the crew. Loyalty give freely, couldn't see. I was drifting into the abyss of the dark of me. The flesh bonded onto my soul. Don't want to let go when the numbing or the pain grows. Just to understand where it went wrong, couldn't see the forgiveness. Pain turned into rage. My true essence in the hand of the enemy, didn't know, couldn't see your love for me. Satan had my flesh. The enemy knows you best and will do whatever he can to disrupt his will to bring you to despair. Attempted to feed off your soul, the flesh working, kept in bondage within, where and only become wither, heavy, stimped in, begins the fight of the soul. The light, the way, the truth versus still kill, destroy. Take of what? What belongs inside where only you lie. Not only do you damn yourself, you steal your path. You harbor hate, lies, and evil eyes of your own. I was looking at this wrong, amplified on its own. God taking the steering wheel once again, nearly missed the blessing. Let me feel you in. I believe the true test of the will perceive. I always knew my Lord, my faith rounded me. When I look back now, the realization the assignment was given long ago. My path with Jesus began the day spent with Abuela as my mold. Te quiero, Abuela, y a Jesucristo, que camina conmigo, for he chose me. Amen.
Ooh, let's hear it from Marsha. Oh my God. Thank you
Wow.
so much.
Wow.
Love to
Amazing.
read. That was
Amazing.
beautiful.
Beautiful.
My sister girl.
Beautiful.
Thank you
Wow.
so much for sharing,
Wow.
Marsha. We appreciate you. Marsha, make sure that you post any kind of contact information. I know you're not big on social media, but if you don't mind, put it there because I know people are going to want to follow you after that read tonight. Okay, now we have, let's see on the list. That would be Kazi Kaz. Hopefully your connection is okay. I'm looking forward to this. Let's go.
Hopefully, let's try it this time. Let's try it again. All right. So I'm gonna try the same piece again so y'all can get the fullness of it. All right. Again, this is titled The Poem That Never Was. Excuse me. I want to ABC the DEs of your FGs, so I can HI the JKs of your elemental Ps. Then I'll Q the RSTs of the U's in your V's, while Wing the X's of the Y's in your Z's. Wording letters into sentences which run on paragraphs, which I might add, subtract the multiplied divisions of my fractions algebraically triggered nometry. Now you can calculate the geometry of my being sorry for forgiving your apology. I'm realizing whom I've always been while being told I never was or ever will be. But you can never kill the real me. In my tree, I'm the positive skepticism of my family's nepotism defense mechanism, like plagiarism's eloquently elegant exorcism. I'm next of kin to the symphonied similes of metaphorically orchestral soliloquies, which proficiently prohibit the indubitably iniquitous indignities of my perpetually prolific proclivities, emancipating my freedom's liberties from the ramifications of the consequential repercussions, which came with no compunction, instructions, or introductions, just delusional illusions and accusatory assumptions. Meanwhile, I'm manufacturing poems to distribute through my vocal cords for mass production's mass consumption. I'm starving hunger's famine by going ham, cheesing the Colgate smile from here to denial, which so many are in. Accusing blames guilty culpability of being at fault for liability's sin. Bad decisions, scapegoats so as to bypass admissions of mistaken errors and blatant terrors. I'm denying plausibility's irresponsibility. Because even if I lie to you, I'm telling the truth. So pick the selection that you decided to choose. I opt to let loose so I can rock by the clock into a truce. With no hands, luring the minutes, seconds into busy intersections of wrists, watching tick-tocking sands of time span standing still. While ages of epic errors fight to acquit my absolved exonerations, which is still running up quite the bill. Causing the planets to bounce off the moons of Saturn in grandma knitted quilted patterns, somewhat ripped, shredded, torn, and tattered. Ill. I sent a grievance to the spaz of the unsightly face of hysteria. It's truly repugnant, his twisted plan, one flagrant, swear to God, really pitiful, who literally has been dropping the ball. Because see, while Eve was eating Adam's apple, Eden was nowhere to be found. Meanwhile, Jill was on the hill jumping Jack and Jehoshaphat with the pail of water she fed from the stretched depth of hell's back and beyond the ponderings of yonder's wildest imagination. So I sat there wondering, maybe I'm missing something that I missed for nothing. But I'm executing revolutionary resolution for retributional restitution, hence evolution's ergo, allowing my prestos changos to see the prestige which my abracadabras hocus to pocus. Voila. Thank you.
All right, you heard all of that one. We got that one recorded.
Got it all the way through, finally. Yes.
Ooh,
Thank you.
love it, love it, love it. Thank you so, so much. Wow. That
Thank
was
you. Thank you.
fantastic delivery. I don't know if you've done so, because there's like mad messages right now in the chat, but if you have not, please post your or do it again. Post your socials, any way that we can contact you. I'd love to follow the artist that read tonight. And that goes for anyone. Maybe if you're not reading for the second round, could you please put your socials, because like we have a great community here and I'm sure that people would love to follow the people that have performed tonight. So awesome. Thanks again, Kazi.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. So now we have a wonderful poet who featured for us on Woman Heart recently, Yael Aldana. Hello.
Hi, can you hear me okay?
We can. How are you?
I am doing really fabulous. I am very excited to be here with you guys and to participate among these wonderful poets. The deliveries is fire, fire, fire. So let me try to measure up here. This particular poem is actually what I say my whole poetry life is about, which is tough to say, but this is my poetry right here. It's called Talisman. I need a new talisman, that is both necklace and conjuring. It is of you and of them and of me. Your initials in scrolled shiny silver rest around my neck. My mother, her name means blood, namesake origins. We are of the Caribbean. Our names mean salt water in the veins, buried navel strings. You are recently dead. And what of them? Ancestors. The word means namesakes, origins, blood, means nothing is lost, means the Western world meets the New World, which was not new, because people were already there. They have been dead, dead for centuries, dragged to the bottom of the sea on the Middle Passage in chains, dragged to the bottom of the sea for gold, for silver, on the galleon La Nuestra Senora de Atocha, on the Guineaman the Hannibal, dragged out of the green dome mountains of Santa Marta, Colombia, before it was Santa Marta, before it was Colombia. I wear their coin around my neck, next to your initials, a coin dredged from their island under the sea, waterlogged graveyard of Colombian gold, of Caribbean silver. I wear their coin for ancestors who slipped past conquistador steel to peer gold rimmed around narrow sloped Santa Marta peaks, for the ones that got caught and broke under Spanish yokes, under British yokes. I wear their coin for the ones doing the catching, for the ones that came from Scotland with money, for those who came from Aldana, Spain for money, for those who came from Valencia, Spain for money, their riches dragged down into shipwrecked, soaked, sodden sands, lost before reaching Spanish coffers, before reaching English coffers, for me to find and put around my neck. Mother, no men stay in our family. They keep on going, leaving beautiful, dusky, sometimes dark skinned, sometimes half-cased children in their wake. All of you, curl in my ear. I will carry you. Sleep in my mestizo's body. Lay aside the violence that forged this body, my body. Lay inside my shell of soul and flesh. We are all in here together, distilled into this one casing of corpuscles. Sleep in my husk of flesh and soul. I will carry you.
Ooh,
That was beautiful.
Thank
oh,
you.
gorgeous. Could you please make sure that you have your contact information? Any links to any, I know the chat book, any links that we can purchase, we can connect with you, put them in the chat, please. And thank you so much for joining us this evening. It's a pleasure to hear you twice so soon. I love it. I love it. All right, next we have Bernadette. You still here?
I am here.
Hi, Boom.
Hi. All
Are
right,
you
so
ready?
I am ready. I have two pieces, but they're short.
Okay, let's do it.
So the first one is called Thunder. There's something soothing and majestic about thunder, knowing it's the calling card of a higher power. And what follows is a cleansing of the earth, water for the green, replenishing the blue, nourishing the earth so the cycle can start over. Lightning that cracks pierces the sky. In that moment, you see God, his awesome power made manifest in a brief moment to say, hello, and I am watching. And poem.
Beautiful, beautiful. And you said you
Okay,
have one more?
yes, I have another one. It's called, let me just pull it up here. This is one of my older ones. Hold on. I hate when you're in here somewhere. Where are you? Where are you? I just had it too. Sorry, guys. I don't have these on paper. So it's like, okay. Uh, you're in here somewhere. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Come on, man. Here it is. Ah, got it. Okay. This one is called Sent Text. There's nothing left to do. One paragraph, emptying heart and mind of responsibility and taking any further action. It's up to him now. I stand atop this hill, cape blowing in the wind, knowing I no longer want this ball. This ball is too heavy to carry. So I've put this concrete ball back in his court. I'm not the wand, I'm the cup. I'm a radio, ready to receive, but it's no longer just on his station. Every blessing has its own frequency, and I'm tuned in perfectly. One poem.
Hi, Bernie. Thank you so much for sharing with us. So proud of you and
Thank you.
how far
Thank
you've
you.
come. I know
Thank
it's
you.
a
Thank
lot
you.
to get on here and to read, and you've been doing it consistently, and I'm just
You
very
put that bee in my bonnet, though.
I'm glad. Bzz. All right. Okay, let's see here. Who do we have next? Frog Corpse, are you ready?
Yes, indeed.
Hello, thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Thank you for having me. You guys are kicking this tonight. All right. This is called A Melancholic Ode, Lost Tonight. I thought once to capture a dream I misplaced, pale with primrose and a milk porcelain soft face, a rainbow made rope bursting steps, lost in the spectrum of the night mouth's blood taste, spilling nickel and ore, melting ivy and holly, plucked berry by bow, stripped of the morning bird's chopping, an axiom reposed by the pale horse white grin, the known waters of strife where the chest had caven in. The deeper that I go, the river takes me with it. The longer that I hold, the blackening breaches bluer lips, no matter where it rolls. In this stagnant sleep I go inward, a thudding rumbling felt, to where its solitude never enters, struggling against its toe, coursing down an eerie stream into the great below, its murky waters unforgiving. Thank you.
Whew, let's hear it. Love it, love it, love it. Absolutely. Oh my gosh. Can you please make sure that you have your socials or any books, links to that in the chat so that people can
Yeah.
connect with you? Because that was fantastic.
Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you for joining us. Okay. Oof. Now we have Jasmine. Are you here? Jasmine. Let me tell y'all about Jasmine, all right? Jasmine is a salsera. She is a dancer as well as being a poet. I'm gonna embarrass you now, girl. We met through dance class and on the social scene, dancing our lives away. And then I found out recently that she writes and she's been doing amazing things with her writing, which hopefully she'll talk to you about. And I'm like, loving it. I'm so glad that you joined us today. Thank you. Thank you. And I cannot wait to hear you read. So I will shut up now.
All right. I'm Jasmine. I'm gonna read a poem that I wrote like a couple weeks ago. For Women's History Month, I guess in honor of my grandmother, who will be 94 in May. But she's in the very advanced stages of Alzheimer's, and this poem kind of speaks to that. It's called Time Traveling to Luther Vandross. Every time I hear Luther Vandross, I'm back in your old room, sitting on the bed with a giant stainless steel bowl in front of me, and I'm reaching into your bag of string beans so I can join in on the percussion. beating the beans along the side of the bowl and snapping their ends off to the rhythm of the song. I hope to never forget that satisfying sound, or the clang of when I toss the beans into the bowl. I fold myself into that memory, plant me inside of it, twist the vines of me around the bedpost and up the walls. Then I smell your cold creams and face powders, and you're effortlessly patting your cheeks to tempo as I watch. I want to spray on your perfume as you get ready to go out and poke out my lips while you put lipstick on so I can get some too. And we're blowing kisses in the mirror, and you're kissing my cheek as we sing. 1,000 kisses from you is never too much. When I'm all together, aware of the weight of those words, your makeup dust forms a smokescreen between us. I take deep breaths and try to hold you in, but the dust clears and I'm here again. In your new room, the smaller one now. Your eyes are closed and I can just barely hear you humming or mumbling along with the tune, and I want to climb into the bed with you, but your body is so fragile now, and mine wouldn't fit into the cradle of your arms anymore anyway. So I'll just hold your hand, sing along in hopes that your mind goes where mine goes, and we can croon together again while I help you prep the vegetable that you'll never get me to eat. Or we take a ride in your Jeep with the windows down and volume up. Or as I fall asleep to you, greasing my scalp, but you don't wake me up when you're done. You just sit there and hold me because you know 1,000,000 days in your arms is never too much. Thank you.
Oh my gosh, let's give her flowers, please. That was lovely.
Woo!
Oh my
I
gosh.
can't. That was so good.
Oh, love it. Please tell us, you recently got a fellowship, is that correct?
Yeah, I got a fellowship to work with Brooklyn Poets.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm currently doing a workshop right now titled The Art of Mourning
Mm.
with Star Davis. And it's basically poetry, basically poetry that deals with grief and mourning.
Mm.
And I wrote this in the workshop because, you know, although my grandmother is still with us, I sometimes have trouble dealing with the fact that she's not the same as I remember her.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you so much for sharing that beautiful piece. I hope that you'll come back next month.
Oh, for
And,
sure.
and I'll also see you on the dance floor.
You too.
And
Thank you
please
very
do
much.
put your socials in. I know I'm following you, but make sure that you have it there so everyone else can as well, okay?
All right, no problem. Thanks.
All right, and we now have, okay, we have Phil, and then we're going to have Ed. So those are our two last poets for the evening. It's going to be great. Yes, Onyx was asking if Midnight's on the last round. Yes, I did see a message from him, and yes, we definitely have him on the last round. So those are our two last poets, and then I will close out. So let's go with Phil.
Is this thing okay? It's on. Oh. You have a prettiness that goes beyond the surface, but you got me thinking, wondering at the possibility how amazing it would be to carry your beautiful every day with me. If I was your bra, I would hold you fixed in the size of your cup, experience every bounce wherever we walked. I would cuddle your nipples rubbing next to me, feel you shift from sensitive to erect, soft to tender again. If I was your bra, I would clutch the taste of your moisture, and within the folds of your breasts, I'd inhale your alluring scent. Sketch rings around your areola the moment black lace peeks through satin red robe, playing a different game of dress up. Bra. I would never want to be taken off, but if removed, I'd still hold your breast forever. Imaginations without boundaries, lathered with what little soap that is left. Teasing, tantalizing, arousing your heartbeat to chest. Heavy breathing from showered liberations, anticipation of a forthcoming fingering, cleanse in the most pleasurable places, sending sensations until suds are fully rinsed. My fantasy, a beautiful dream, if I was your bro.
Phil, thank you so much. Oh my goodness. Phil's socials are in the chat, I believe, right? If it's not recent, could you just add them again one more time? For those of you who came in later, Phil also he co-hosts a twice monthly open mic called Put It in the Chat. Y'all should check it out. Okay, so next we have Ed. Where are you? You ready, Ed?
I'm ready because my name is Eddie.
Let's
Oh,
go.
let's go. Well, Midnight put me into the mood. He said tantalizing, so I got one more little erotic piece to say the least to go inside your crease. This is called Hungry Body. A spicy tongue slowly melts. Fast-moving suns, passion has begun. Embers rain down at the center. Meaty sloppy sounds, winds getting thinner. Salty sweet drops, taste of our bond. Non-stop spots to the top. Consciousness in the great beyond. Flickers our ears and backs. Bones jumble to a beat. Jolts from our heart attacks. Roughing our loins and feet. Up against your moist skin, I feel sensation of being alive. Our moans of joy transcends the ring of our bare beehives. The fusion lustful beast forming one big tornado. The bow snare decrease, developing by a pink volcano. Both pilots to the closeness, cleave each other for sweet life, engulfing in intoxicating mist, two hungry shadows creating light. I want another sweet bare taste, not less sweet, not less bitter. I want to see the euphoria on your face, making your weather more wetter. Your sin assaults my soul. Your essence infuse my pleasure. Your heat melt away my cold. Your energy has no measure. My nakedness needs unashamed. My hungry mouth wants honey. My hornet refusing to be untamed. Our waterfalls will be less runny. Let's savor the warming darkness. Let me taste your salty sweet drops. Let us dance in our burning desires. Let us move till time stops or pops. We're lost in a sweaty bliss. The bright sun quietly shows up. Our tired eyes try to resist. Oh, the roars from the dumpster trucks. Thank you very much.
It is always such a pleasure. Thank you so much. Thank you
You're
for
very
bringing that
welcome.
energy all the time. And if you don't mind, just post your socials one more time because we've had a lot of beautiful comments in the chat. If you have a chance, scroll through it, guys, because as everyone read, people were giving them flowers in the chat. And see what people said about, your poems and which lines that they focused on and that, really they were feeling. So we have one more person. I know I said I closed and I usually do, but we have time. I hope I'm pronouncing the name correctly. New?
Yes, you did.
Hi, New. How are you?
Good night. How are you?
Good. Nice to meet you. I'm Nikki. Welcome.
Thank you. I saw it, so I'm sorry.
No, that's okay, please.
Okay. So I haven't shared this one before, and I don't know if it's finished, but we're gonna go with it.
All right.
Seeing you is like drinking water with my eyes, quenching a thirst sight longed for all to see. In me, you can just be. This place of rest starves feelings for more. Instead, sinking in your chest, I call for you to have and to hold, 'cause you have been my home. My soul dwells in side by side, moving with you inside, putting in overtime consistently, 'cause over time, infinity held divinity for me in you. This little heart of mine, I hear bleeding at the doorstep of your heart, sends my head spinning in slow motions, discovering parts of you we always knew existed. How dope you really are with the lights on. Because all I could remember is feeling pretty in the dark, but color me beautiful. Yes, my brown is beautiful. It deserves to be seen, not scarred. But if you touch, can you help reach the parts that's been missing? Being the one vibrating to Robert Glasper with, daydreaming future into reality with you. You've shown me clear vision, how standards were never too high, Just many men were afraid of heights. You never took your eyes off my prize. Looking down on I'm sorry, run it back. How standards were never too high. Just many men were afraid of heights. You never took your eyes off of my prize, looking down onto what's missing. You folded your template onto the blueprint of, you folded your template onto my blueprint and kept on building. Now we are growing, and it's never too much, always more than enough. Watching and waiting, waited love, patterns, ways for you to move through patiently. That's it.
Ooh, and that delivery too. Oh, you better come back. You better be back next month. That was fire. Let's
Thank
give
you.
her flowers. That was lovely. Wonderful. What a way to end the open mic. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much. So I'm going to do a read, of course. I'm going to close it out. But before I do, first, of course, I want to thank everybody who came this evening. I want to thank our featured poet, everyone who shared, everyone who just listened. My goodness, thank you so much for building a beautiful community here. I hope as the months go by, we get stronger. We branch out. I want to hear all of you. I want to see your publications. I want to support you all. I mean, this is a lot of fun. Thank you so much. This is a highlight of my month. Let me tell you. Again, Lee, my wonderful, fantastic mentor slash tech person co-host, and also the host of Woman Heart. Thank you. While I get ready to read my poem, I'm going to do one more call for donations, and I'm going to ask you to just tell us a little bit about Woman Heart so that just people know. We might not have the date or anything set, but just so that people know about it and they can look for it. But again, if you're willing, if you're able to give any kind of donations, the information's in the chat. 90% of it will go to our featured poet tonight, Onyx, who many of you came to support, and 10% will go to Tesoro, which really is, the house. It's the driving force behind these open mics. So again, thank you. Lee, tell us about Woman Heart.
I just dropped in where you can find all the current events that I post. But Women Heart is a woman identifying only a mic. It is not recorded. And usually people share the most taboo topics there. That's where it's very welcome for topics that you don't feel like you can share anywhere else. And sometimes we get wacky and sometimes we get wild. And we do have a feature, Bianca, on double checking the days. Yes, March 22nd, 8 p.m. Central Time. That's when it starts. So that is, and it's also the same password as is for Pen and Sword.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I see that you put your socials up, Lee. Okay, I'm just going to put mine also. I have 2 accounts on IG and I use them both to meet poets and promote all of our events. So I'm just going to put them both. I hope I can remember them off the top of my head. I hope this is correct. Okay, those are mine. I've already followed some of you. I'm gonna go back into the chat after this is done and make sure to follow everyone who shared their information. New, I don't think, if you're still here, I don't think you posted yours yet. Or maybe I missed it. If you haven't, please post your socials or any way that we can contact you. And again, everyone, if you have any kind of books, websites, any kind of projects that you're working on, please put them in the chat so that we could support you. So I have an older poem. I've read this one like a million times, so forgive me if you've heard it so many times before, but I think it's a cute one to end with. When a poet writes about you, don't get too excited. Don't begin to think that you are special or that your actions or inaction has somehow changed the writer's worldview, that your effects on this person are permanent or even long-lasting. See, I've written poems about first kisses, which were really nice, but a poem isn't really a poem when we call something really nice, now is it? So instead, it was a flush of heart, an exchanging of spirits, a moment that made me quiver. And I've written poems about my father, turning him from terror to titan, discussing the music, the culture, the character he instilled in me, but using the very medium I cherish for getting me to break silences, to somehow muffle and modify the most troubling memories of him, words concealing bruises. See, writing a poem is akin to memories filtered through prism, words shining through in yellow, indigo, and green, with the slightest movement, the smallest shift in perception and memory making them magenta, orange, red. We poets analyze, dramatize, metamorphosize, and though rarely, tell little white lies because we need some way to process these feelings, the constant stream of ideas, the nagging regrets, the merciless well of hope, in order to speak about what was, what is, what can be, what should have never been. We poets turn shadows and silhouettes into solids. We watch, sometimes helplessly, our wishes and fears rise like vapor from our treasonous pores and settle on a page in front of us. Our intentions are to heal, not harm. And once in a while, well, you may be referenced, maybe adoringly, perhaps bitterly, but don't take it to heart. We are a weird bunch, poets, committed to telling our truths, but willing sometimes to reframe them as necessary, eager to recount in extremely uncomfortable and violently honest detail each minute of our deepest traumas, reopen itchy, tight scars, but at other times, recount small, somewhat insignificant moments with heart-shaped pupils and feather-light fingers, turning the tiniest tick of the clock into some unforgettable, journey-changing moment. So please, don't take it too personally when you're the subject of a poem. Forgive us if we've embellished. Tell us if we got it all wrong, but understand that that conversation will probably end up in a poem too. Feel what you gotta feel, but forget it quickly, because as monumental as our moment may have been in one stanza, we poets must always focus on the next. Thank you so much, everyone. See you next month for Woman Heart.
Next month.
And see you next month for Pen and Sword. Take care, everyone.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Peace.
So nice to
Good
meet
afternoon,
you.
Tano. Think bite, staple
Nice to
tastic.
meet you too.
See you
Peace.
around.
Lee, can you stay on?